Greetings family, Sista Shanice in the house, and I am at Solomon's Beach in the Gambia. And as you can see, I'm sat between two fantastic young men who I've just met at the beach. They are both vloggers. You've got to check out their YouTube channel. But first of all, let me ask them to just introduce themselves to you. Okay, first of all, let's go over to Jerron.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Jerron. I go by the Melanated Mr. Mosley. That's my YouTube platform. Repatriated here back to the Gambia.
Nice one, nice one. And let's go over to Saeed.
Yes, I'm Saeed, the Happy Companion. I'm from Eastside Long Beach, California. Repatriating back to the Gambia. This is my second trip. I was out here a couple of months ago. I'm back for my last leg. You know, I'm here. So I'm loving it.
So this is a Sunday afternoon here in the Gambia. Oh, what could be better? We know that if I was in the UK, I'd be locked down in the house now, you know, and looking out on a grey, dismal day. And here the sun is shining. It's absolutely beautiful. We're watching the families in the background and the children just enjoying themselves. You've got the wonderful sound of the ocean. Now, I'm not trying to make you jealous. I'm just saying to you, it's time to come home. Now, it's not made easy because, you know, the direct flights ought to be there, but they're not always there. So I'm going to ask, you know, our brothers here to tell us a little bit about the journey that they had to go through in order to get out. Let's go over to Saeed first.
Yes, ma'am. Well, Sista Shanice, it was a trial and tribulation, trust me. My best, especially with the COVID-19 test, is ridiculous because they want the PCR test instead of the rapid swab test. This rapid swab test doesn't test like, it's not very accurate as the PCR test. So that's the reason why. So I didn't really know that. I kind of knew it, but I didn't know it because the brother Jerron, he told me, he sent me a text, you need to take this test. I just read COVID, so that was my fault. But things worked out for me pretty much because when I went to the airport the first time, I had the wrong test. So it kicked me off, it set me back for about 2 weeks. So yeah, so then I had time to do other things and to see things, take care of business I need to take care of. But what I suggest and what I did, when you check in online, you can't actually check in online. You try to check online, you can't. So what I did, I go to the airport 24 hours prior to departure. This way, they don't try any trickeration, you know, because that's what they try to do. So I went ahead and got my boarding passes the day prior, because you got that 24-hour window that you can get your boarding passes. So you, for international flights, you can't check in online. You have to go to the airport. So I went through LAX. So when I went through LAX, I got my, actually I took 2 COVID tests. I took the PCR COVID test, which was 2 days, I think 2 or 3 days prior to my departure. Then I took the regular test the day prior to my departure, just in case I have any issues. At least I have 2 tests. Yeah.
Wow. And what's the cost of these tests?
Well, for me, because I had my health insurance still, it was pretty much like, I guess $20, but it gets paid by the insurance.
Yeah.
But if the scam that they have going on in some of these places, and it's difficult to not you know, follow their guidance because they want you to pay $475.
$475.
Yes, if you're traveling for the day of your travel. For 1 day prior, $375.
Wow.
And it's like ridiculous. I mean, that's sometimes a quarter of people's flights you have to pay. And if you have 3 or 4 people traveling with you, you know, that's big money. So it's a gimmick.
Wow.
And they only accept cash. So, but if we, and it's like they're trying to do anything they can to prevent us from repatriating to make our way back home. And so, you know, and actually I took another test on that day prior with CVS Pharmacy. But the results would come out 48 hours after I take the test. So by the time I got to Banjul, and it was free because it didn't cost that much money because of the my insurance. So when I got there, I still had that on my phone. For your COVID test, make sure you have paper copies. They don't accept the phone copies. So make sure you have the paper copies. But it's ridiculous. They were letting everybody else, non-melanated people, go on the flights and say, where you going? Oh, I'm going to Africa for what? Oh yeah, I'm just going on vacation, this and that. Okay, here you go, welcome. But a melanated brother like myself, I'm going up there, I'm going to the counter, why you want to go to Africa?
This is what they're asking you in America. You know, they ought to be glad you want to go.
Exactly.
But yeah, they make out they're glad that you want us to go. But when you're really going there, like, what do you want to go there
What
for?
you want to go there for? Yeah. Conspiracy theories.
And holding you up at
Holding
the
us
counter.
up for the counter. And it's like they feel like, you know, I almost felt like they knew I was coming while I was coming. But since I came there prior, like a few months ago, I was in the Gambia and I already had my visa set up. I had everything. And they still were trying to critique it because I bought a one-way ticket. Why you buy a one-way ticket? Because I'm repatriating. You know, I'm moving moving. I got my Gambian driver's license. I got land. I had this. I showed them my documents. And so it was the first time it was a melanated one, but she was an Asian kind of melanated. But the second time she was a true melanated queen. So the true melanated queen, she took care of her brother.
As we do, Yeah, my God. So you really have to make sure that you've got your money there to get out and making it as expensive as possible. And obviously at the same time, this is big business. What was getting out like for you? What was the cost of that?
Okay. So getting out for me, it was something that definitely needed to be planned. One of the greatest, I guess, obstacles was, and this is what has been happening to a lot of brothers and sisters back in the States, is when it's on our itinerary, when we schedule a flight and they know that you're going to Africa, everyone, and myself included, will receive some type of email stating that their flight has been canceled.
That's right. That's what's supposed to happen.
And exactly. Now here's the thing. Now, when you go to the airport or when you contact the airline directly, they'll say, "We never sent you that information." So it's someone out there that is doing this, because I've met quite a few people from the diaspora who actually says, "You know what? To heck with it. I'm still showing up to the airport anyway." And when they arrive at the airport, they see a sea of unmelanated people in vacation gear ready to leave, but they were told that their flight was canceled. Okay, now that wasn't by accident or anything. That's happened in different states around the U.S., and that had happened to me. So again, just go if you get that notice. For some reason, that's being intentionally done for people that want to come to the continent, either for holiday or if they want to come back to repatriate. And another thing that my brother stated with the COVID or the PCR test, that is probably one of the biggest hustles.
Yes.
Okay. Now what my brother paid, I'll be very honest. I didn't pay that amount because I wanted it rapid, because I was competing between two different countries that had two different requirements. So I went and took the same route where I flew from LAX, which is in Los Angeles, to JFK, which is in New York. And then from JFK, we landed in Dakar. So to go to Senegal, it's within 5 days of your COVID test. You need to be able to do that. However, you have layovers and long things, so your time is really cut short. But here in the Gambia, you must have it within 72 hours.
Right, yes.
So you have 5 days you're working, which is fine, but the 72 hours. So what did happen is we had an issue with one of the airlines in Senegal, and my family and I had to stay in the airport for 30 hours because they did 30 hours, not 30.
Wow.
And they allowed you to buy the ticket, but they never told us that no flights are going out on that date that we actually booked. So, of course, time had expired, and our COVID test had actually expired.
Oh, no.
So we did plead with a brother who worked there in customs, and he contacted customs over in Banjul because we were still respectful. Now, we already know Western ways, we would have started popping off and having attitude and things like that, but we knew that wouldn't get us anywhere. We're on African soil now, so, you know, luxuries and certain things that we're accustomed to, and let me talk to the manager, kind of don't work that way over here. So we were very respectful and understanding, and the gentleman says, you know what, he pulled his cell phone out, and he called over to customs over here in Banjul.
Yeah.
And they said, you know what? They said, let them over. Actually, he had us on speaker. He had us on speakerphone.
Yes.
And the guy, he says, let the brothers and sisters over.
Oh, family, that must have happened
Yes.
when we had that call made, because
Yes.
I was saying on my video, my partner's got Jamaican passport.
Yes.
And when they went onto the Gambian Gambian Embassy website, it was saying that, and we were at the airport at this point, you know, it was saying that he needed an additional certificate, clearance certificate, you know, which he's never needed before. They said, oh, maybe it's because of COVID. Let's ring up, you know, the Gambia to see, you know, what the situation is going to be before we allow you to go, because they may not allow you in without it. And it was an agonizing 45-minute wait, you know, to find out what the decision is going to be. So they must have spoken to a brother like the one, you just described, who said, "Let my people come home."
Exactly. that was very beautiful. But I will say, with the COVID, if you're coming from the West, I'm not sure how it is, maybe in the UK or in the Caribbean. However, from the West, I mean, in the U.S. and in California, namely where we're from, you would want to get a rapid test, because if those results, they'll say what they would consider to be rapid is within 24 hours. Well, if your flight leaves early the very next morning, but you went to get the appointment at 6 p.m. to get the COVID test, then you're going to run into some issues. So you have to be very meticulous about how you do it, and it should be done as close to the date of your travel as possible, because you can't anticipate long layovers. It could be flight delays, things that are beyond your control. So that's why it's going to be a little bit more costly, a little bit more expensive to be able to get the rapid test. But put into perspective, that price that brother was talking about, that was what my family and I had to pay, and that's per person. That's per person. And while we did not want to really part with the money that way, we knew that we were not returning. So, let's go ahead and just do what we need to do to get off. So the only anxiety and ambivalence that we had was, not really ambivalence, but what we had was the stress of what is causing me to stay here. We want to leave. So you had one obstacle with the airline telling you that, you know, your flight is canceled. Then you had the issue with the taking the rapid COVID test. Then you had the issue of getting to the airport and staying there for 30 hours. Then we had the issue once we got to the gate, the COVID test expired. But if I can do it 10 times over just to be able to experience this level of peace that I have right now, anything that I have dealt with in life that is up to these 41 years of my life, I would do it 10 times over just to be sitting here right now.
Wow. That says it all, doesn't it? Really?
Yes.
So is this your first trip to the Gambia?
It's my first trip to the continent.
So the continent! Woo!
Yeah, I'm an all-in type of personality, and my mother and wife, when they saw for several months that I'm saying, look, you know, nothing is here left over here in Babylon. We make so many excuses not to leave. We're surrounded by people who question, why do we want to leave? Why would you leave this to go to that? So we have a warped concept of what the continent and what Africa really is. So I kind of blame it on some of the lack of understanding and ignorance as well. So when I had my wife and my mother said, look, when are we going to sell the house? When are we going to sell these properties? When are we going to resign from our jobs? My mother, when is she going to retire? And when I saw that my family was on board with it, that extra strength and power, just as a man that you feel when you have the two most, you know, when you got the two, you know, your queens right behind you that's supporting you, I felt invincible. So when I went and resigned from my career of 14 years, I didn't feel anything about it. Didn't feel anything.
And did you get a one-way ticket as well?
No, the reason why I got a round-trip ticket was because I was told that sometimes you can run into some issues if it's a one-way ticket, because if it's a one-way ticket, then you know, they may question that you need to have a return place or something like that to be at. So I said, well, I'm just gonna, I mean, God forbid if I happen to miss the flight on the way back, you know. But I did that just kind of as a safety thing. But I did tell the airline stewardess when we got off and we flew from Delta, I said, sister, if you're flying right around the same time that my ticket says, all I want you to do is give our 3 first-class tickets with the lay-down bed seats to an African family.
Oh, that's
Do not
beautiful.
give it to anyone else. And that sister vowed that if she's working that day and if she's not, that she was going to tell someone else to make sure that if someone is in coach, if they're a melanated family, make sure that they get those seats to whatever their destination
we'll have
is.
to put the dates of those tickets at the bottom, eh?
I'm sure your subscribers are already like, oh, what date was that?
Make sure they're returning on that date. Yeah,
Definitely.
Fantastic. But you, Brady, you got a one-way ticket, didn't you?
Oh, yes, I did.
Oh my gosh, so yeah, you're leaving the United States of America behind you.
That's right.
And you've got a new life ahead of you.
That's right.
Oh wow! So
excited.
share with us a little bit about what your vision is for yourself here. Looking ahead in the Gambia.
For certain, it's a spiritual journey for me as much as it is, just getting in contact with my people here. My ancestor prayed one day sons will come back, and I'm coming back. I'm here now, and so my goal is I got land. So I bought land in May, and then I came to go visit my land, visit the property in July and August, and I did a lot of vlogging. That's where everybody found out who the THC was. That's where my brand came out, because I had my channel in February. So I started off in February. I just filmed in Long Beach, just around in California. Then the lynching of King George Floyd, and of Mabry Aubrey, I forgot his brother's name, from Brunswick, Georgia. That set it off for me. So I had a change of heart. I said, let me start filming the real stuff, as far as like trying to inspire my people to come back to the continent, because I've been to the continent 3 or 4 times prior to coming to the Gambia the first time. So I've been to East Africa several times. So my goal basically is to continue my platform, my black form, and to try to get our kings and queens to open their minds up, to have a vision, to set plans and goals to come here. Yes. Because if you don't have an open mind, or you don't have that calling, it's pretty tough. So I try to inspire those who are awoken, and to inspire those to wake other people up. So in my channel, alhamdulillah, praise be the Most High, it's growing rapidly, and I think it's because I'm genuine. I'm sending a message across that's from the heart, and I come here for the people. I come here for my ancestors. I come here for the Most High. So when I'm doing this, get myself settled. I got a place that I rented for a year. I paid straight up for a year. So when I get my house and everything worked on, hopefully be done before then. I'm also working with the Buford Moss Seaside project, because they're helping with the renovation of that. So on my channel, I put the email down there, and the email goes to the imam and the akala and all the mosque leadership at that mosque. It doesn't go to me. No donations go to me. Everything goes to, you send an email out to that email, and they respond to it. You can send the donations that way. So it's being renovated now, because it was it was terrible.
Shambles.
It was a shambles, yeah. So I went ahead and did it's near Ghana town, so I went out there. So other than that, trying to get a business. I'm retired off of two military and my civilian job, and I'm done with work if I don't have to work. But all praises due, I'm not going to be that person who's going to be 50 years old and then have a heart attack at 52. And that's what happens when we finish up and then we retire. Then you just get lazy, you get the old pot belly and stuff. You know what I'm saying? No offense to anybody, but that's what happened. You get, and so I'm be active, trying to get business started. I've been connecting with a lot of the Gambians. I want to be with the Gambian people. I want to be immersed with the culture. I'm learning Wolof right now. I got a tutor. So I got a tutor that's about once or twice a week that I'm linking up with, going over a book, and I'm learning Wolof. I speak Arabic. I speak Swahili too. So I used to be very fluent in both. So it's a mismatch. It's a hit and miss sometimes. But when I get a flow going, if you see my platform when I'm around the Gambian filming, I'm speaking some Arabic to a lot of the people from what do they call it, Mauritania. And so, a lot of those people are here. But that's what I want to do. I want to establish something here, a base, and if anybody coming from the stateside or whatever, it make it a little easier for them, or anywhere from the diaspora, make it easier for them to come in without having to go through the struggles that a lot of us have been going through sometimes. And right now, it hasn't really even been a struggle, because I feel like I'm at home. I feel like I'm at peace. I don't have to deal with the racism, discrimination, the KKK Nazi skinheads, and the white supremacists, man. I'll be real with you. That racism needs to end. You need to end, because our people are not being treated correctly. We treat like second-class citizens in a land that we helped build.
Right.
You know, and I served 30 years in the military. I did honorable discharge, everything, and still treated like a second-class citizen, even, you know, just because of my ethnicity and my religion. But now I'm in a place where I can practice my religion, and I'm around people of the same ethnicity as far as melanated in content, as my Mr. Melanated Mosley always says. You know, and I love this sister's channel. Please keep subscribing to this sister's channel. And I love when she says, rise up, rise up. I'm like, hey, I'm ready. Let's rise up. You know?
Fantastic.
Yeah,
thank you so much for joining me on my channel. Please, you know, let the viewers know again the name of your channel so they can subscribe to your channel. And then afterwards, if you could do the same as well.
Yes.
My channel is The Happy Companion, 3 words. The Happy Companion. And my content is about repatriation, Black conscious, you know, Pan-Africanism, you know, diaspora, all this, you know, ADOS. I'm on that level right now. And if you're melanated, you're all welcome. I don't care what religion, what faith, you know, whatever you are, what gender you are, I don't care. As long as you are getting that coming with an open mind, you coming with love and stuff, I'll love you back. Even if you don't love me, I'll love you more. You know, that's how I roll. And then this brother's from Compton, I'm from Long Beach. So Compton and Long Beach,
together now you know you're in trouble.
I love it. Please tell the viewers the name of your channel so they can
The name of my channel, again, is The Melanated Mr. Mosley. Again, that's The Melanated Mr. Mosley. And on my platform, of course, we embrace Pan-Africanism as well. Anyone of any belief system. I have so many subscribers of different belief systems, but it's mainly geared toward people who love and recognize their negritude, right? Who love being African, who understand that we are the nucleus of this entire planet. If Africa stops anything, the entire world has a heart attack, okay? And the people that should not subscribe to my channel are people who do not see themselves as African, people who do not embrace love between African brothers and sisters. Everything I do is melanated, and I had to put it in my YouTube channel name just so there's no mistake about what content is on there. So, you know, I talk anything about, you know, we talk about sometimes like relationships between our brothers and sisters, but mainly my focus is to be able to compel our brothers and sisters from all of the diaspora to put their resources here in the Gambia, to consider moving here to the Gambia or, you know, other places here within the continent. But to know that while we're out vacationing, while we're out supporting other businesses who are not putting resources back into our communities, that way you can be able to say, you know what, my people need me a lot more. And believe me, when you're coming from the diaspora, when you're coming from the West, we have a lot of resources and capital that will be able to help over here in the motherland. And then we don't have to depend on other foreign powers that will put us in debt. In the U.S. alone, right around maybe $2 trillion gets pumped into the economy, and very seldom do we own anything. So that gets pumped into the U.S. economy, which goes to other businesses. So if you have that type of buying power, it only makes sense to have it over here. If you want to talk about vacations, if you want to talk about going skiing, if you want to talk about going to the beach, if you want to talk about being in any climate, you have it here. You have it here on the continent in Africa. I'm sure when this sister, well, we know that she's currently in the Gambia, but if we were any place else and we saw this beach, you would assume that we're somewhere in the Pacific Southeast or Southwest or something like that. So you really wouldn't think that this place even exists. This is in Africa. Come to Africa, you move to Africa, you live in Africa. You embrace with your brothers and sisters. That's what we need. Everybody else, go ahead and stay. And not everybody's going to make this journey.
That's right, that's right. Family, I want to thank you so much for keeping it locked. My brother Jerron, thank you so much. My brother
Melanated
Saeed,
Mr. Mosley.
Thank you so much. More power, more strength, more voodoo. Both of you.
Thank you.
One love. Thank you, family. Please like, share, And if you haven't already subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please do subscribe as well. Not just to my channel, but also to their channels too. Rise up, rise up. One love, one love.
Happy sister, Domane, Arafanya Monyema, Malude Monyema, Apalude Mapatabe, Happy Zelisio, Kaeka, Mama, Zelisio, Kaeka, Mama, Africa, 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 Happy Zelisina, Africa, Happy Lady, Africa, Happy Family, Africa. Happy Zelisina, Zelisina, our Zelisina, happy lady, our Mawa, Zelisuma, Sotoya, Sabinara, in a man, we are at the same Alena dolena, Gambia, Gambia, Happy family na movie, wabayani, mama, then is everybody, Yala,